Hi, I'm Dr. Pink. Yes. So my assistant told me that you came in because you feel like you have a blockage in your left ear. Okay. Yeah, let me just look over my notes really quick. Okay. So, you tend to overproduce earwax. That's completely normal, especially if you have some form of allergies. Especially in this area, a lot of people tend to have allergies, so that's completely normal. Yes. So what I'm going to do is blockages can form for several different reasons. It can be because when you overproduce earwax, which I think this might be the reason for you in particular because you tend to overproduce earwax. Or it can be because you use Q-tips and most people tend to use Q-tips. Not that big of a deal, but it can be a big deal if you also overproduce earwax because the Q-tips tend to push the earwax further into the ear, which causes the earwax to just build up and cause some hearing difficulties. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to feel your lymph nodes, see if there's any kind of infection going on, just for precaution. And then I am going to check the outside of your ear, and then I'm going to be checking the inside of your ear. And when I check the inside of your ear, I'm also going to be puffing some air in there, and I'm going to be doing several hearing tests. So if you do have a blockage, I will definitely remove that today. But I will be doing a hearing test before and after the blockage is removed. Okay? Okay, perfect. Let me put on my gloves really quick. This might be backwards. Sometimes I have no problem putting them on. Sometimes I have so much problems putting them on. Today seems like the latter. So 1. And you don't have a latex allergy, correct? Okay, good. We also have nylon, but we usually prefer to put on the latex if you do not have an allergy. Okay, so first I'm going to feel your lymph nodes. I'm going to see if there's any problem with those, if they're inflamed. Okay, in your neck, they feel fine. Do you tend to have some sinus problems? Okay, is it okay if I feel your sinuses really quick? Okay, so there's one right here. Does that hurt at all? One right here. Does that hurt? A little bit. Okay. And on your forehead. A little bit. Okay. And in between the nose as well. So let me just check that. Just a little bit. Okay. So I believe your allergies are a huge factor in the overproduction of your earwax. Yes. There's this huge thing about that, and as you know, your ears, nose, and throat are all connected. So if one thing goes wrong, everything else goes wrong. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to perform the hearing test first, so that way we have a variable to look at after if we need to remove any earwax, which in this case I believe we do. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to perform the first one, and I'm going to be making a noise on one ear, and I'm going to be saying some numbers in your other ear, and I want you to repeat those numbers, okay? Okay. just ignore this sound. I'm going to be saying some numbers, okay? 23, 45, 62. Can you repeat those for me? Good. And I'm going to be doing it to the next ear again. Ignore this. 62, 45, 23. Okay, and repeat those. Perfect. Let me write that down. Okay. So because you did so well on that test, I'm going to be doing another test, okay? And I'm going to be whispering again in either ear, and I want you to repeat those, not numbers. I'm going to be saying words in each ear, and I'm not going to be doing the noise again, but I want you to repeat every word I say, okay? The cow jumped over the moon. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Okay, that's good too. Do you hear a difference in each ear? Or is it about the same? About the same, okay. Okay, so now I'm going to be looking at the physical overall of your ear. Okay? I'm just going to be looking at the outside, making sure that there's no irregularities, any inflammation or anything red on your helix, your antihelix, tragus, antitragus, and your lobe. This is where most people tend to get their ears pierced. Yes. So I'm just going to be looking for any irregularities on your right and left ear, and then I'm going to report to you what I find, which is probably nothing. Okay? Okay. So, right now I'm looking at your helix. I don't see anything wrong with the helix. Now moving on to the antihelix, I'm feeling if there's any bumps, lumps, anything like that. And now I'm going to be looking at the antihelix, which is a little curve. Just palpating that. And then your lobe. And your lobe tends to have most lumps and bumps there. So this one we're going to palpate really carefully. Okay. This ear looks perfectly normal, nothing abnormal, no inflammation, no redness, nothing of the sort. So now we're going to move on to your next ear, okay? That out of the way. So we are checking your helix or your pinna. Okay. Seems smooth, nothing irregular, looking in the front and the back. Now looking at the antihelix, it's more on the inside of your ear. Then looking at your tragus, which is that little flap right here. And nothing there. Did you get those pierced? Okay, yeah. I feel a little bit of scar tissue, but that's about it. And now looking at your antitragus, it's a very small part, shouldn't take that long. And now your lobule or your lobe. And feeling that out pretty well because that one tends to have the most lumps and bumps. Okay. Nothing irregular. Yeah. Perfectly fine. There was a bit of scar tissue on your tragus, but you told me that you had a piercing, so it's no problem. Yeah. So now I'm going to be looking a little bit deeper into your ears. I'm going to be looking for any inflammation, any swelling, any excess cerumen, which is your earwax. And I'm reporting any findings that I have, which more than likely will be an abundance of earwax or cerumen, but I can take care of that in office today, and there's no problem whatsoever. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to start on your right ear, and I will then move on to the next ear, okay? I'm just going to be using this flashlight really quick, and going to be looking deep into your ear. Okay. So, entering your ear canal, I see nothing inflamed, nothing red, nothing irregular. But getting closer to the tympanic membrane, which is your eardrum, I do see a blockage. That blockage is actually not allowing me to see past it to your tympanic membrane, which is what vibrates in and out to allow you to listen to things, because noise is actually just a whole bunch of sound waves, and your eardrum vibrates back and forth and goes to your middle ear, and it's a huge thing. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yes, this one should be no problem getting out. It is not that big of a deal. That one, the one on this side isn't that big of a deal. It can be taken out pretty easily. Okay, so now we're gonna get to your other ear. Let me write that down really quick though, okay? Blockage in ear, out in office. Okay, now we're gonna be checking the next ear, okay? The next ear. Okay. Ready? Okay. So, getting into this ear. Going in there, there is a little bit of inflammation right here. Does this hurt? Does that hurt? A little bit? Okay. Looking towards your tympanic membrane now. There is another blockage. Yes. This one isn't that bad at all. This will probably take 5 minutes to get out. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But after you take this out, I am going to check your tympanic membranes, both of them, by puffing some air in your ear, okay? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start with this ear, take out your earwax on that side, and then I'm going to go to this ear and take that out as well, okay? Okay. So okay. It's coming out nicely. Okay. Okay. I'm going to check one more time and see if there's anything else that needs to be taken out, okay? Okay, so going into the ear canal. This is perfect. I see directly to the tympanic membrane, and I'm just going to puff a little bit of air, okay? Perfect. It vibrates just as the air comes and goes, and there is no blockage, so right ear is fine. We're going to move on to the next ear, okay? Okay. So. Okay. Taking out a little at a time, and there's not much there, so shouldn't take us long. Okay, so let me puff the air again, okay? Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to do the test again. I'm going to be making a sound in one side of your ear and then saying a few numbers on your other, okay? And just repeat what I say. Great. Okay. 21, 14, 35. And repeat it back. Okay. Next ear. 35, 14, 21. Perfect. Okay. So we got all of the cerament out of your ear. I can take these off now. And your hearing seems a lot better. You said those numbers without a problem, so I don't need to go on to the next test. Yeah. Well, if you have any problems, just call me. Let me know. Feel free to book another appointment a year from now because your hearing's very important. Yeah, have a nice day. Bye.